Welcome to the Narcissism Freedom channel. Whether you're returning to this space or joining us for the first time, I'm grateful you're here. This is a sacred place for those who are healing, seeking truth, and yearning for clarity in the midst of emotional chaos. If you've ever felt like you're losing yourself in a relationship, constantly putting someone else's needs above your own, feeling emotionally exhausted, or wondering if love should really feel this heavy, then today's message is for you. Relationships are meant to be a space where love, respect, and mutual growth can thrive. But sometimes, especially when codependency is involved, what looks like love is actually a pattern of emotional survival. Codependency can be subtle. It often masks itself as loyalty, sacrifice, or deep affection, but underneath it can be an unhealthy attachment rooted in fear, low self-worth, or a need for validation. In a codependent relationship, your identity can slowly start to dissolve. You might feel like your sense of purpose comes solely from making the other person happy. You may begin to ignore your own needs, silence your voice, or tolerate toxic behavior just to keep the peace. These patterns don't develop overnight. Often, they stem from earlier wounds, unmet emotional needs, abandonment issues, or experiences that taught you that love must be earned through suffering. The first red flag to be aware of is losing your sense of self. If you no longer recognize your own wants, values, or dreams because everything revolves around your partner, that's a sign that the relationship may be codependent. Healthy love allows you to grow individually and together. When your identity becomes merged entirely with another person, your light begins to dim. Another sign is emotional exhaustion. If you feel chronically drained, anxious, or emotionally unstable in the relationship, it's worth asking why. Codependency often creates cycles where one partner constantly fixes, rescues, or enables the other, leaving no space for rest or renewal. A third red flag is an inability to say no. In toxic codependent dynamics, boundaries are often blurred or non-existent. You may feel guilty for asserting yourself or fear abandonment if you disagree. But real love respects boundaries. If your voice is stifled, the relationship is not balanced. A fourth sign is walking on eggshells. When you're constantly adjusting your words, emotions, or actions to avoid upsetting your partner, the relationship becomes emotionally unsafe. Fear is not love. Finally, a major red flag is rescuing or enabling harmful behaviors. If you're constantly making excuses for your partner's actions, justifying their toxic choices, or cleaning up the emotional messes they leave behind, it's a sign of codependency, not healthy connection. God did not design us to live in emotional captivity. Galatians 5 verse 1 says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery." Codependency, though emotionally complex, can feel like bondage to a relationship that drains rather than uplifts. Healing starts with awareness. When you begin to recognize these red flags, you're not only opening your eyes to truth, you're also inviting grace into your journey. You're not weak for wanting love. You're not broken for craving connection. But you do deserve a love that sees you, values you, and allows you to be whole. As you grow in your awareness, remember that change takes time. You are allowed to learn, to fall, to rise again, and to reclaim your voice step by step. If this message speaks to where you are right now, I want you to know you're not alone. So many people silently endure toxic relationships, believing they have to choose between love and self-respect. But God's love never asks you to abandon yourself. If you find yourself in a codependent pattern, know that healing is possible. Begin by reconnecting with your own spirit. Start journaling your feelings. Ask God for clarity. Surround yourself with people who uplift your soul. Most of all, remind yourself daily that you are worthy of a love that doesn't ask you to shrink. The healing process from codependency isn't about blaming yourself. It's about finally understanding yourself. It's about recognizing that your desire to help or fix others may come from a deep place of compassion, but that compassion must first extend to yourself. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to say no. And you are allowed to choose a life where you are loved for who you are, not just for what you can do for someone else. When you begin to walk in this truth, you'll notice your energy shift. Peace returns, clarity increases, and the toxic dynamics that once kept you trapped will start to lose their grip. There is power in reclaiming your wholeness, and there is purpose in your healing. And if you feel led to support the growth and awareness of this channel, the details are in the description below. Your support helps us reach more people who are breaking free from emotional bondage and finding the courage to heal. Thank you for showing up for your healing. Thank you for reclaiming your voice. And thank you for being part of this journey toward wholeness. Stay rooted in truth, grounded in love, and never forget, you are enough just as you are.